hate a storm, Hail Marys, I make it pour. Good, I ain't lying, you little giants, we been defying. Rise. What's the cost? Be the boss, breaking down the walls. We all in once the coin gets tossed. Got the plan of action, never acting. No need to scramble to get traction. We make it happen. From 3-4s to 4-3, we get it cracking.
Hey, by the way, shout out E-Dub and Shaun King. I'm gonna tell you something, guys. You guys have no credibility. You're racist, and you're both just horrific humans, apparently, to the people that took my channel and said that only non-serious people with zero credibility come on this show. So I just want to throw that out there.
RACCISSSSSSSS. That's us.
Hey.
I mean,
hey,
that's who we are at our core, I guess.
Hey,
you know.
Hey, how are you rocking? You're conflicted today, Shaun King. Eric Weddle's got to be the most conflicted human on planet Earth. So he plays for the Rams, wins a Super Bowl. He spends majority of his career with the Chargers, who play the Ravens tonight, and he chose to wear a Ravens hat and hoodie. Did he flip a coin, Shaun King? Yes or no?
No, because I don't think it's who you played for. I think it's who you felt most at home with. And I think he felt most at home when he was with Baltimore. The temperament of that defense, the way they played the game. He was always kind of an outcast with the Chargers. He's a little bit before his time with the Chargers.
Shaun, E-Dub was put on a all top 10 list at the Chargers history of the organization.
No, he was a great player, but I'm talking about the temperament of the team.
No, I know.
The city. Like, when he was a player, I think he was more Baltimore, like the Wire, like that gritty, hard nose, like get it from the mud. Like, that's what they were on defense.
The truth be told, I don't have any Chargers workout gear. So I have Rams and Ravens, and the Ravens are basically, it's Ravens 2.0 over there. So I'm pulling for the Chargers. It'll be a fun game tonight. I don't really Harbaugh Bowl. So I need to get some Charger gear so I can start rocking it because I hadn't been rocking it for a few years. But.
Hey, Shaun, E-Dub, this is the most excited I've been all year to see these two teams play on a Monday night game. Because I to be honest, I think college football has been bad, NFL's been bad, quarterback plays so bad that I find it hard to find and watch a real game. Tonight could be finally a great game. It'll be a fucking 6-3 game, and I'll be disappointed. But it could be a great game tonight with two good quarterbacks. Harbaugh is getting Herbert to play under control, and they're going to do the things that winners do. But before we dive into this, shout out to E-Dub's son, Gaige, who has been offered a scholarship at the University of Utah. Congrats to him.
Congrats, man.
I followed him on Twitter last night. I didn't know I wasn't. I thought I was. Shout out to him. A freshman with an offer already. Is that a big thing around the house right now? Is he excited, or are you taking?
Yeah,
taking heat. It's E-Dub's son. He went to Utah. It's just they're just throwing him out there. No, I saw him. He's a fucking baller. What's going on with all that?
Yeah, when you get offered as a freshman, it's to have a conversation and listen in as I did. It was really emotional, and to have the conversation go as it was, and it had nothing to do with me, right? Like, for example, the University of Utah with Coach Scally, he's only offered 2 freshmen in the last decade scholarships. So it's not something that they do. And this isn't his only offer, which we'll be announcing here maybe right now. I don't know. But, he's worked extremely hard, and he's a determined kid. And I'm just along for the ride in his journey and to help him along the way. But this just basically puts him on the radar, and if he continues on his path, then he'll have a chance at playing football at the next level. So it ultimately is up to him.
What does he want to play?
Right now he loves both. So kind of determines junior and senior year of what the the colleges want, and then him deciding where he wants to go and the fit and the scheme, depending on if it's defense or offense. But he just loves ball and loves winning. So I'm
are
all
they
for it.
recruiting him as?
Both. Yeah, right now, like Utah and some other schools. So yeah, I mean, he's young and we don't know what he's gonna be. He's 6'2" right now. He could be 6'4". He could stay at 6'2". He could, he could be 215 by his senior year. So it's a big where he's gonna be in 3 years. Nobody really knows, but what he did as a freshman was pretty impressive, and got a long ways to go though.
Hey,
All
tell Gaige Unc said congratulations, man.
Thank you, man. I will. I definitely will. It means a lot.
Hey, the Harbaugh Bowl, though, as we discussed, what are you expecting tonight, Shaun? What are you expecting in this game? And the Chargers are clear-cut the best defense in football. I think the Eagles may be the second in line right now. Where are you at with this game? And that defense travels, as we know. I think that defense is going to show I think what people have been doing the last few weeks. And I think they got to run Derrick Henry more than they have the last 3 or 4 weeks. But that defense travels. I think that defense is going to show you that Lamar just is not a great passer. And I think Lamar on the other side of the Ravens defensive side are going to have some problems in the secondary defending Herbert. So where are you at?
I want to figure out what happened in the second half of Chargers-Bengals. Did the Bengals find something at halftime? Because that second half is the only bad half of football for the Chargers defense this year. They've been lights out. I mean, they've been outstanding.
What if I said that Joe Burrow is just the best football player in the NFL this year?
I mean, I wouldn't give you a lot of pushback, but what I want to see is schematically, did they show something that Baltimore has picked up on? Because Baltimore has either been great on offense or terrible. They haven't really had a lot of middle-of-the-road games. Either they've been in shootouts or they've been in slogfest. So I kind of want to see, did somebody expose something schematically what the Chargers are doing, or was this a bad half of football?
Yeah. D-Dub?
Yeah. I mean, I expect a high-level, high-competitive football game on both sides. I mean, two of the best coaches that go through situational football, that preach a type of football to be played, right? Play like a Raven with the Chargers, bring that same mentality. You can tell the difference of bringing a leader of men, a winner, a culture builder, a program builder, what the difference is with a program. And we get so fixated on these young guys, and I'm not – there are some unique young guys. We're not saying that, but there is truth to be told of just a guy that can get in here and galvanize the team and just lead and inspire and cultivate, and that's done it at every level. So I'm excited for the matchup. I hope that the Ravens just do what they do and play within themselves and play through the run game, whether that's Lamar running or just the actual run game to set up the pass. I don't want them to go with 4 wide receivers and just air it out. I think that plays into the Chargers' hands, especially with that pass rush and the way they play defense with Jesse Minter at coordinating. He knows how to stop the pass. Now, on the flip side, to Shaun's point, which is a great point, I honestly think as a safety, and you get engaged with elite quarterbacks that they just find a rhythm and they get on a heater, and there's really nothing you can do about it. And I think that's what happened in the second half. Their season was on the line, and Burrow was like, hey, we got to air it out every play. And, defenses, if you're not built like, gosh, the Eagles last night, their front four can just go coverage and play games, and their front can get after the quarterback, it becomes difficult for a defense to just stop an elite quarterback that's in rhythm and on a heater. And I think that's what it was. I think it was an outlier per se because they dominated that first half, but I could be totally wrong as well.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think you got to run the football at Derrick Henry, and you're going to see more guys in the box, and Lamar's going to have to throw it over the top like he did years ago when they had Hollywood Brown, Shaun, and he actually made you pay. I just don't know if Bateman's the guy, Zay Flowers is, but can he be accurate versus, the Chargers decide to do so with that front seven getting after the QB like the Chargers do. I don't know if there's a lot of success to be had out there tonight for Baltimore on offense. I really don't. I think the Chargers are going to actually pull away from this game. That's just my personal opinion.
Let me ask you a question, JB. Because I never really thought about this. Are they just saving Henry? Because he's been extremely productive, but they haven't overloaded him from a carry standpoint. And here's what I mean by that. In 19, 303 carries, and 20, 378. In 22, 349. Last year in Tennessee, 280. I mean, he's only got 5 or 6 games left. He's, relatively, not been overutilized. Are they trying to save him so that when the weather does become cold and we get in these bad weather games that he's still fresh, as opposed to having an extra 70 carries on him at this point in the year?
E-Dub, I want to throw that at you because you played there. The only issue I have against that is this is when Lamar struggles is when in the playoffs. And now you're going to play playoff ball, meaning put it on Lamar right now more than you have to is where I think that is set up for failure. Because in the playoffs, it's going to go back to Lamar running double and triple option, throwing the football over the cover zero top because we're going to load the box to stop Derrick Henry. I don't know if you should have put it on him this early if what you say is true, E-Dub.
I mean, that is a great point. When I first got to Baltimore, my 10th year, it was the first time I didn't have to play those teams. And going into my 12th year in the NFL, that was the first time that I didn't have to practice on Wednesdays because of my age and trying to keep me fresh. So they are considerate of that, and I know that's definitely on their mind. So that is a great point to bring up. I don't necessarily think that per se. I think Monken kind of gets in his own head at times with not giving him the ball as much as they should. But on the flip side, I do think they want to have him on a pitch count so he's strong in December and January. I mean, that's a great point. Are they
shoe-in?
No, that's what I was gonna say. They're 7-4 right now. They got to win and to make sure they get in the playoffs, and the division's still out there. So I think from here on out, you're gonna go balls to the wall and try to win every game, so they can get in and try to have some home playoff games.
Let's transition real quick for I'm gonna say our Rams. Our Rams last night. Because they look good at sometimes, and then they just can't stop the run, obviously. But Matthew Stafford to me is still the top ball spinner in the football. I just want to is this team just couldn't recover from being so injury riddled early in the season? Is this just what they are? Even though they're still in the playoff hunt because the NFC West is so bad or average.
They're fine. The lost them game was 2nd and 1, and they got the penalty in the third quarter
I got to ask you both. I think it's absolute. All right, Shaun, you got to run?
Yep.
Hey, Shaun, before you bounce, let me ask you this. I thought it was absolute horseshit last night that Sirianni gets to renege like the game of spades.
100%.
Go from 4th down to 3rd down. I thought
4th and 3 to 3rd and 13. That was whack.
Like, when does that happen?
Never.
I'll be honest with you. I think I had fell asleep. I was so footballed out.
Well, Shaun.
I was tired.
Hey, Shaun, here's real quick before you bounce. This is what happened. The Rams got a penalty on a ball.
3rd and 3. It was incomplete. So it would have been 4th and 3, down 14. They said decline. Then they saw the Rams lining up to go for it, which they had the offense out there. Then he went out on the field and said, "No, we want to accept the penalty."
Oh, and
they let him change it. Yes. Yes.
Whole work, man.
Wow.
Hey, Shaun, I know you got to take the kid to school, man. I appreciate you. I'll see you next week. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yep.
All right, too, Shaun. Great seeing you, brother.
Hey, E-Dub, y'all still playing?
No, we lost in the quarters, unfortunately. But
congrats
great season for us.
Yep,
thank you, babe.
All right, E-Dub, real quick, last night's game, I thought that was a crazy call. We saw some other crazy calls. Are the Eagles becoming like the Chiefs right now? They're getting a lot of calls last few weeks. Where you at with this Eagles team? Are they just a gauntlet that the Rams ran into last night? Are they the serious Detroit Lion contender in the NFC right now? It looks like a 2-horse race. Are the Packers serious? Can they be contenders? And then the Vikings still sitting at 9-2. Nobody's talking about. Are those the teams though in the NFC, or is it just a 2-man race with the Eagles and the Lions?
No, I think the Eagles, they did look impressive. I thought that sequence in the third quarter, they were down 14. I mean, they were going back and forth, back-to-back possessions, and then the Rams got down there inside the red zone, and then they had the penalty, then they got the sack, and then the game was over at that point. So that I was thinking if they could just get one stop, they would win by 1 at the end of the game because they would keep scoring. They were down 13. So I think they'll be okay. The division's not as strong as it used to be. They just got to, not having your best tackle out there hurts with Havenstein not being able to play. And they've dealt with injuries. I still think they can manage it. Are they going to be able to get on a run and go win a Super Bowl? I doubt it because of the injuries. But if they can get everyone back, the young defensive line, the defense in general, it kind of got out of hand at the end, and it was much closer than it was. But Philly on the flip side, man, they look like when Baltimore is humming, it's Baltimore-esque, where they play great. They have the number 1 defense in the league, and they're running they're playing through the run game. Look at how many times Hurts put the ball in jeopardy last night. Never. So you're looking at a team where it's extremely difficult to move the ball. It's extremely difficult to score points. Now, on the flip side, they're always ahead of the chains. Like, it's very, very hard to compete with a team like that know their identity, they're playing to their strengths, and they will be a tough out right now the way they're playing football. I mean, is there anybody them and the Lions probably got to be the hottest teams? They won 6 or 7 in a row, the Eagles, and I don't know. I worry a little bit about Hurts if they get down because he's not just a natural thrower. But if they are ahead of the chains and have a lead in the playoffs, they're going to be tough.
They do match up. I think offensively when Smith comes back, Devontae Smith comes back at wideout, they're as talented as anybody. They match up there. They match up, obviously, in the run game. I think Detroit has a 2-headed monster in the backfield. I think Gainwell helps, and he does help Saquon, but he's not Montgomery and Gibbs, in my opinion. And then
it's a good change-up, though.
Yeah, it's a good change-up. Defensively, the Eagles, I think, are better right now.
The Eagles have been impressive. I mean, how good has DeJean been? The safeties with Blankenship and the number 8. I'm drawing a blank. That always talking on social media, but he's having a bounce back year.
White corner. Shout out to the white corner.
White corners. Hey, we out there.
Racist show, according to I Am Hip Hop or whatever his fucking name is. Real quick, I got to ask you, though. Last night, we saw a bunch of NFL games that I don't know, man. The Cowboys Washington Commanders game. I don't know if you got to watch it.
Can you believe that ending of that game? I could not believe what I was witnessing. I really couldn't. The Cowboys really tried to have their coach get left on the tarmac in that game. The way they played the end of that game, I couldn't believe what I was watching. They literally, and then the kicker. How many kickers missed field goals or PATs yesterday and throughout this season? It's like every game is coming down to these dang kickers that can't make a PAT or a field goal to help their team win. It drives me.
Let's talk about something that no one talks about on any mainstream media, and I want to be clear here because I know how it is when you break out a new football in the NFL that people don't want to discuss out here. Tom Brady, Inflategate. He didn't want to talk about them pumped up balls. If you watch a football game, and I'm giving you guys insight here, you talk about when you watch an NFL game and you watch the end zone copy during a kick and you see the snapper and the holder, watch the color of the ball and watch how new the ball looks compared to the ball that is being thrown in the game. Nobody's talked about it. I haven't heard one person discuss it yet on any ESPN, Fox. The new football with a film on it that you don't get to throw in the dryer with poker chips. By the way, this is what beats up footballs. You throw them in a dryer, and these beat up the football, and it massages the ball and the leather, and it makes it a throwable football. Nobody likes a brand new football to throw, to kick, to catch, anything. I'm seeing more brand new footballs being thrown in the NFL and kicked. And I don't know why no one's brought up the fact that that is a issue. Is it not?
Well, the kicking balls do look new, but they're worn down for kicking. They're not matted and mudded like the quarterback balls in the offense and defense, but they look like they're brand new. But I wouldn't look too much into it because they bring the balls in and they go through the balls that are actually going to be played with. I just think these kickers are, there's no Adam Vinatieri's out there that are mentally tough that are going to go win the Super Bowls for you. So I don't know. These guys are just kickers, man.
Here's conspiracy number two. Here's conspiracy number two from me, and I'm going to talk to Noel Mazzoni when we come back after Thanksgiving about this. And I was watching football, and I'm sitting there with my coach in mind. I'm like, everyone talks about how bad offensive line has gotten. College, NFL, high school, etc. O-line's bad and blah, blah, blah. Well, it's easy to teach see-ball, hit ball. Weddle and I know what I'm talking about. On defense, if you just teach pursuit and angles and getting a freak of nature at 5 technique and going to speed rush a guy, and then you get a bunch of transfer O-linemen that needs to understand how 5 guys work together, it is easy to be great on defense quicker than it is on offense. Really, really simple. That's been since I was a little kid. That's nothing new or mind-boggling. What I have seen, though, and noticed, and I wanted to get your take, I think offensive line's worse, and I think it's a direct correlation on why quarterback play is worse, and here's why. The running back is now part of the protection more than we've ever seen before. And we are seeing running backs get absolutely melted from A to B gap. And I've watched it all weekend long. And now that running back is dependent as a guard in B gap. And I'm watching running backs get absolutely melted for the fact that we can no longer cut inside the tackle box. So no longer fear. The linebacker no longer fears coming in there. He's full bore because he can't be cut. And I haven't heard anybody talk about the fact we saw Kyron Williams last night get absolutely melted into the Stafford's lap because it's head-to-head now with a linebacker going full speed and a back from 6 yards deep having to meet him in a gap. And then when the O-line wants to get smart and we want to make a squeeze call and our guard takes that gap, now we got a back on a 6'6" freakazoid defensive end like Myles Garrett who's getting destroyed as well. Nobody's talking about the fact that our running back is now in protection more than he's ever been. And I believe that's a direct correlation on why O-line play looks worse than it is and why quarterback play is as worse as it is. So I want to get your take on that point.
Yeah, it's definitely a valid point. I'm not sure why at the NFL level would you ever have your running back in protection. I'd always keep my tight end and release him out. I think some of the hardest routes that I've ever had to cover are running backs out of the backfield, and the angles and the leverage that they can create. It's very, very difficult. So that's always going to be a matchup winner as a defense when you know the protection and you know that if they're four-man sliding on different looks that they're going to help, and you got one-on-one on the back and you get those simulated pressures where you're only bringing 4 and not 5, and you're getting one-on-one with the back, that's a win. That's a guaranteed win for our defense because those linebackers at that level, it is a complete mismatch against most backs in the NFL. So
it's all Bob, though, right? It's all big on big protection or backs on backers, whatever you want to call Bob. That's what it is. And I think we're dependent on a running back that we don't hit anymore in practice. We don't take on any of that rigor. So now you expect them to take on. And by the way, the guy that melted them, I think, is out for the season. I think Graham, one of the best players, a captain on the Eagles defense, he tore his bicep last night.
Oh, no. He was killing. Oh,
I think he
gosh.
announced it too right after the game. I'm not sure.
Well,
Maybe
I mean, it's a philosophical difference than it was 15, 20 years ago when I first got in the league. We had every day we had one-on-one pass rush drills with the running backs and the safeties and the running backs and the linebackers and tight ends versus safeties, tight ends versus linebackers. And we were getting that work in every single day. Okay. And yes, the game was different. We were in the box a lot. We were blitzing more, but reality is you're just not doing that anymore. So now you're asking guys to go throw their face in there with the proper technique and power to stop these guys. It's just not going to happen because you're not practicing it.
Yeah, I agree. Your Utes lost, another tough one, Iowa State. What's your take on the identity of the program going forward? Is Witt staying, or do you know? And is he okay? I mean, you're gonna have some down years. You had injury at QB, you had an older QB. What does it look like going forward as far as spring and fall next year?
Yeah, that is the big question. I can't see him going out like this. But man, to be on your sixth quarterback of the season, sixth quarterback. I've never seen something like this before.
My last year,
it's real unfortunate, but that's football, that's life.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's crazy when you talk about O-line play and defensively. In his last press conference, he brought up the scenario of dumbing down the offense and defense for the way the landscape is with the portal kids being able to come in, and in 3 months they're able to learn the system. Or even if you get them in the summer, you got 6 weeks. You have to have it pared down. You can't have these sophisticated defense and offensive schemes anymore. It's got to be line up, inside zone, RPOs, and a couple concepts that you can run, because these guys don't have enough time to learn it, or they don't want to learn it, and the coaches aren't enforcing it and keeping that standard. I'm talking in general now. And that's why you're seeing the same, like I was watching Modern Day and Centennial, and it's the same. You get athlete on athlete, you run inside zone, and you run quick game or shot plays. Where is the scheme? Where are the motions? Where is the trying to ID? Where is you're just it's not like fun football to watch. And
it's not.
You're seeing it. I've seen it at every level. But when you're in that situation, what else is there to do? For me, my position and stance would be that I'm going to get the guys to learn it so we can give ourselves a schematic advantage, because you're not always going to have the best athletes on the field.
Yeah. Let's get you out of here, man. We'll end it real quick. Hell yeah, hell no. While you're sitting there parked. Hell yeah, hell no, man. Brought to you by BetUS. Head on over there today. Use my promo code CoachJB. E-Dub Steelers are the best team in the AFC. Hell yeah, hell no.
No, hell no. They just lost. So maybe if they would have beat Cleveland last week, but that wasn't a very good. That's not a good loss. I know it's a rivalry and this and that, but you shouldn't be letting Cleveland, a 2-8 team or whatever they were, beat you with the whatever that guy.
Yeah, I say hell no. Hell yeah, hell no.
I'm just in my truck because I'd be too loud. Everyone's sleeping. They were up to like 2 a.m. because we're on break. So I'm just chilling. So don't have to worry about me getting off if you don't want to. Go ahead.
Hell yeah, hell no. The Chiefs are the worst 10-1 team ever.
Hell yeah.
Has there ever been a bad 10-1 team?
No, never been a bad 10-1 team. I'm sure through my 13 and a half years, I was 10-1, not once. So I would love to be 10-1. I don't care how it looks.
No shit.
It's just you just worry if these games are going to catch up to them because they're not as dominant. They're just not a dominant team. Yes, they're winning. Okay, great teams, great organizations, great coaches find ways to win games. Is it going to catch up to them eventually? That will be we'll figure that out eventually. But they're just not a dominant team. And I don't know, if I was a betting man, I would bet against them, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him back in there. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no doubt. Hell yeah, hell nah. Deion Sanders will be at Colorado next season.
I don't think so.
Me either.
I don't think so. When he has done an incredible job, but he does. It's hard to say something like this. It's just from the outside perception, right? Of what you see, but what has he done? Coached high school, coached college, then moved to college again. Everything he tries to do, obviously he's changing a lot of lives. I'm not saying that, but if he has a chance to make sure his boys go to the right situation and he gets to coach them, he's gonna do it.
Hell, who won it?
Yeah, so
Who
I
won
think
it?
he's gonna have some chances. The more conversations that come up on these podcasts, and he kind of smirks and he smiles with the Raiders and
Michael
maybe
Irvin.
the Cowboys. Yeah,
Michael
like
Irvin just straight out
come
telling
on.
everybody he will take it. Like,
Yeah, like so I don't if he has that chance, I do think he's gonna leave, and we'll see how he does. I'm sure he'll do great because
I wouldn't
why
be
wouldn't he?
shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if the Raiders came at him.
Well, they brought that up, and then when Ice Cube was talking to him, and then he brought it up, and then Deion was like kind of gave him a side eye, like he had been already
Yeah,
talking about it, which is just
yeah.
very odd. You
Yeah.
don't act like that if it's not already kind of in the works. So
Yeah,
I don't know. I think it'd be honestly, I want to see more ex-players be coaches.
Me too.
Not all of them are great, and not all
Right.
of them can coach, but I do think they bring a different element to the team and as leaders. And if they have the like not all of them, and most of them can't coach to your stance, but I think it's just good for football to have them around the game, and that's why I coach, to try to give back. And as a figurehead, he's not coaching offense, defense, special teams. He's just the guy to get the guys ready. I think he can do it. I mean, who knows?
Hey, speaking of one of your boys, hell yeah, hell no. Ray Lewis will be the next head coach at Florida Atlantic University.
I have no idea. Has he ever coached? Does he want to coach? I say hell no, just for the fact that I don't think he's ever coached. And if you, especially at a major program, like, there's so much that goes into it. And if you're not
major, though, I can see that being Deion's step.
FAU is D1.
I know, but I don't know if it. You know what I mean? Like it's like a Jackson State step for him.
No,
It's
has
not
he
like
ever
going-
coached?
It's not
Has he ever-
going
has he
straight to like
coached?
Alabama, though. You know what I mean?
Has he coached before?
I think he's coached his kid. I recruited his son. I think he coaches kids and shit. I don't know if he's. No, I don't think he's coached like college or nothing. No.
Is he coaching right now?
I don't think.
FAU is a legit D1 program. Yeah, they may not be the cream of the crop, but that's still D1, and you're still having to do everything that you would be doing at a normal D1. So
Yeah, no doubt.
I don't know. I would say I would say hell not just for that. I don't think he's ready for that or wants it.
But it's like the stepping stone, like Willie Taggart, Lane Kiffin. Everybody goes there and then gets a big job. So
Seriously.
I don't know. At least Ed Reed's coached. So I don't know. We'll see. I'll say hell. I'm gonna say hell nah, but I wouldn't be shocked. Hell yeah, hell no. Real quick before you get out of here, the Seahawks will win the NFC West. I hate to burn. I know you got to think on this one. Bailey's back there fist pumping. He's a Seattle native. It's hard, isn't it? But they look good last night.
They put up 16 points.
Hey, your guy's the head coach, man.
The defense did play well, but it's the Cardinals, and I say hell nah. I'm not putting my faith in Geno Smith. I'm sorry.
Not won back-to-back games this year. The Niners.
Did you see Geno Smith at the end of that game? The back-to-back picks, and just throwing that ball up like nah.
What is he doing in the red zone? What the hell is he doing?
I don't know.
I don't know. It is what it is. What are you doing for Thanksgiving?
I got my parents coming down. My mother-in-law might be coming down from southern Utah. And then any of the boys that don't have anywhere to go, that come over to the crib, same thing.
But,
You gonna go there, or you going to Scottsdale?
no, I was gonna go to Pat's. I was trying, but I'm gonna have my mom. I think she's not feeling well. I'm gonna have her, and then invite everybody over, man. Whoever's not like again, buddies that don't have a family or something. I'm gonna cook it up. You know that.
Yeah. What's the go-to dish for Coach JB? What do you have to have on Thanksgiving?
Well, I
Whether
fry
it's your mom.
I deep fry a turkey, and then I bake a turkey separate ways. I use crab boil though, so I get that Cajun type of rub on it. And then I'm gonna do. I bought a big steam. I don't know if you saw my big new toy, a big steam pot. I'm gonna do a full crab boil.
I did. I saw that. I love that.
I'm gonna do a big crab boil this week. This Thanksgiving, and then I make the best sweet potatoes ever.
Oof.
I truly believe. Brown sugar, honey, molasses.
Do you melt some marshmallows on top?
Oh yeah, okay. Got to at the very end.
My mom does that. That's the one request I have is bring that down. Make sure you doctor it up the way you know how to. Extra brown sugar, extra all that goodies with that.
Hey, but Saturday we'll be back for Football Palooza, and hopefully E-Dub stops by and tries to take some people's money on the poker table.
Oh yeah, you don't want me on that poker table because you know I'm the best one out there. So I do. I need to come up. I don't think I have anything this weekend. Finally, so
yeah, let me know.
At some point I'm gonna be up there, no doubt about it.
I bet. All love, man. Appreciate you, and tell the fam.
Of course, glad to have you back, man. We back. We back, baby.
Hey, congrats to Gaige. Let him know, and then tell the fam happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you next week.
You got it, bro. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Enjoy the week, my man.
All right, brother.